Welcome back to FNN News, FNN News Network, and I am your host, Sibel. In news on the OLA, the Oromo Liberation Army Southern Zone Sodomboro Brigade reported in East Guji Zone ambushing enemy troops that had left Nagele Borana, which is the capital of the East Guji Zone, to search for the OLA. Pictured here are weapons that were taken from enemy troops by the OLA in that area. The OLA reported killing 57 and injuring over 143 enemy combatants on January 5th in a battle that lasted over 12 and a half hours. The injured were then taken to a hospital in Nagele Borana by 11 ambulances and 4 patrol cars. The OLA Adola Brigade also intercepted, Oda Adola Brigade intercepted 5 enemy ambulances and 2 patrol cars that were taking their injured to the Hawassa Referral Hospital between the districts of Harkalo and Wadara. And the OLA destroyed the 2 patrol cars that were involved in this operation. However, in retaliation, the enemy troops that had run away then, in fact, set fire to over 12 civilian homes and destroyed some of those residents' properties within. Meanwhile, the Sodomboro Brigade OLA conducted a retaliation attack for an earlier attack on civilians when it entered Nagele Borana and attacked the enemy troops, killing 11 and injuring 16. Pictured here is an ID card of an enemy soldier that was taken. The OLA based in the western Walaga zone has also reported killing over 100 enemy troops in the area of Sadeka around the beginning of the year, January 1st. In other news, Prime Minister Abiy has released several of his political prisoners, including prominent Oromo leader and Oromo Federalist Congress member Jawar Mohammed, who has been jailed since July of 2020, along with 34 other people after he was arrested during protests that came in response to the assassination of popular Oromo political activist Hachalu Hundessa. Pictured here, Jawar Mohammed. Some other members of the OFC who were also recently released include Bekele Gerba, Dejene Tafa, and Hamza Borana. However, multiple other OLF members have yet to be released from jail. That includes Colonel Gamachu Ayana, Abdi Regasa, Dawit Abdata, Lami Benya, Bate Orgesa, Michael Boran, Dr. Gada Gabisa, Aman File, and the OLF chairperson under house arrest. Here we also have a clip from courtesy of Ethiopia Insider of some youth in Finfinne in the capital celebrating following the release of Jawar Mohammed. And some other political prisoners not affiliated with the OLF have also been released. That includes 5 prominent TPLF officials, including Sebhat Nega, Mulu Eg Ziaber, Kidusan Nega, Ambassador Abadi Zemu, and Abe Woldu. However, 15 of the jailed TPLF leaders have not been released. Another important figure who has been released, of course, is Eskinder Nega, who is the journalist and also founder of the Balderas for Genuine Democracy. He was also pardoned along with his release from jail. An official statement was released alongside this decision by Prime Minister Abiy. We'll put that up on the screen here. The statement addressed the release and called for national unity. However, it didn't address the continued calls to release the remaining political prisoners that are still jailed or charged with no crimes. Here's a quote from this official press release here. A national dialogue commission has been set up to deal with contemporary political issues and unresolved discourses of the country. Others will continue. To this end, the Ethiopian government took the initiative to pardon some prisoners for the betterment of the political situation. This includes those who have been imprisoned in the past and those who have been imprisoned as a result of the recent war. In other news, the OLF has issued a press release condemning the mass murder of 39 Oromo civilians by Prosperity Party forces in Ginda Barat district of the Western Shawa zone. And another recent press release by the OLA addresses Abiy's release of a number of those political prisoners that were held by the regime, often for very long periods of time. We'll put that release up here. The OLA release calls upon all of those recently released prisoners to stand with the OLA and against Prime Minister Abiy. And it also urges the international community to turn a critical eye towards Abiy's policies and attempts at negotiation. Here a quote from this press release. The PP, the Prosperity Party's motivation is, however, far from the freedom of the prisoners or the joy of our people. By this release of prisoners, the Prosperity Party aims to, 1, prop up its legitimacy in Oromia in particular by freeing innocent politicians who should not have been arrested in the first place. 2, create a pretense of military victory and circumvent the necessity to directly deal with the warring parties. 3, have the international community believe that it's an agent of a peaceful political project from the get-go if it hadn't been for the others to whom it often externalizes all problems. So again, that's the response by the OLF in this press release following Prime Minister Abiy's sudden decision to release several of the important and prominent political prisoners that were being held for long periods of time. In other news, a recent airstrike that struck a humanitarian aid camp in Tigray on Friday night killed 56 people and wounded 30. FNN News has obtained some images from a Reuters article on this topic some of these images were given to Reuters by humanitarian aid workers that were affected by the strike that were working at this camp. So, of course, these images can be disturbing, a warning. The camp in question is located in Dedebit, which is a town near the northwestern border, near Eritrea, the border with Eritrea. And we have these pictures because 2 of these aid workers anonymously confirmed the death toll and turned in these images. They also shared anonymously that many staying in the camp were women and children. Several of the children were hit by the bombs. Here is a quote that one of the aid workers told Reuters. They told me the bombs came at midnight. It was completely dark and they couldn't escape. Meanwhile, the government has not commented on this attack. However, international calls are growing for the government to address these ongoing airstrikes that have also increasingly affected humanitarian aid workers and other nonpartisan actors. So that's all for today. We'll continue to update our audience on the progress of the OLA, as well as the cases of the various Oromo and OLF leaders who have remained in prison, continue to be political prisoners held by Prime Minister Abiy's regime. Thanks again for watching FNN News, FNN News Network, and I am your host, Sibel.